Hey everybody, welcome to Cut, Transform, Glue. So let's continue to paint the sniper spaceship, shall we? In this week's video, I'm going to show you guys how the sniper pieces turned out, and I'm also going to show you guys how I painted the other pieces of the build, like the central frame and some other pieces of the project. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So let me first show you guys how I painted the central frame, which has the green accent color that I showed you guys in the image with the color study. I've wanted the central frame to be green, the accent green color, but I want it to be chipped, so I'll begin by painting the central frame in a glossy black. Now, of course, since this is just an undercoat for the chipping effect, I'm not too worried about doing a perfect job with this color. I just need this black color to be nice and even, and onto the top of that black color of the black paint, I'll just apply a coat of glossy varnish to then apply the green accent color and do the chipping. Now with the green accent color, I gotta say I was more careful. I did multiple passes of thin coats of the paint, and then once it was dry, I could start the chipping process. And the idea with the layers here is that the glossy varnish, it kind of protects the black paint, so when I start chipping, I'm only removing hopefully just the green paint. But if it so happens that I remove even the black paint and that I reach like the primer underneath, that's not a big deal. I can always grab a thin brush and kind of repair the black paint. And I think some of you guys can see that after the chipping effect, I kind of ruined the finishing of the green color, but that's expected. This is because of the use of the alcohol. I'll repair that putting another coat of glossy varnish on the top of the whole thing. Now I love to add some randomness to my models, and I love to break the symmetry. So to the X looking figures that goes from the outside of the wing segments, I've painted one of them in the green accent color, and I also did the chipping effect to it as well. So again, I started with the black paint, I put a coat of glossy varnish, then the accent color, and then the chipping. Here's another piece of the project, the white central piece that goes on the top of the rail that holds the sniper. I painted it in the warm white, and to the air vents I did an effect with the black paint. I want the air vents to have a kind of a smoky effect on them, so I started with a glossy black, the same glossy black that I used on the other pieces, and I restrict as much as I could the ink flow of my airbrush. You guys know that I work with a Patch H, and this is a single action airbrush, so to restrict the ink flow I have to twist the cap that goes over the needle of the airbrush, and I restrict it as much as I could to end up with just the tiniest amount of ink flow, so that I could, like in multiple passes, reach the smoky effect that I wanted for the air vents. Now, as a quick tip for you guys right here, when you're working over the top of a piece like I'm doing right here, be careful to not drop the paint from the cup of the airbrush onto the piece. Ask me how I know it. And by working carefully and slowly, I was able to reach this effect right here, and I kind of like it. This is not like heavy or anything, it's just a smoky effect that the eye catches. And I've also added the smoky effect to the back of the engine array. Now, since this piece is darker, it is a gunmetal, I had to work with more ink flow than I did for the white piece, but I like the end result. And this week I've also worked on the pieces of the sniper. So right here I've added a segment on the ammo box and the ammunition box of the sniper in the warm white, and right here I'm doing the chipping effect to that warm white color. I've also added some other shades of gray to some other segments of this piece, and I still have to add the green accent color to some tiny details right here. But yeah, I'm happy with how this piece is kind of looking so far. Oh, and by the way, I've also did the smoky effect to the two thrusters on the side of this piece. I've also added some different colors and shades of gray to the central piece of the sniper. I'm not sure how this is called in terms of gun anatomy, but yeah, I've added some colors, some shades of gray to the other pieces of the sniper. In this piece right here, I'm gonna add some letters, and to add those letters, I'm gonna try a different technique that I'm going to show you guys in the next video. This week I've also worked on the Y-shaped arm, as you guys can see. I've started with a black paint on most of the piece, and on the top of that black paint I'll add the other shades of gray, the gunmetals, and some letters, some details. I'll add stuff by brush and by airbrush as well. And I want to be honest, I love the contrast of the black Y-shaped arm to the white, the warm white wing segments. I love how this is turning out. Next week I'm also gonna add some letters and symbols to this central piece right here. I think this is like important to tell the story of the sniper spaceship and kind of show that this is a military unit. Yeah, so I'll do that on the next week. But yeah, I think I'm 50% there when it comes to painting the sniper spaceship. I still have to do lots of things, like I have to work on the pieces that cover the bolts for the wing segments to go together with the spaceship, and I've also have to paint some other tiny pieces, as you guys can see right here, the pieces of the radar, and yeah, lots of other tiny pieces to paint and finish. I also gotta solve some issues that I'm having with the primer. So for instance, in the fuel tanks on the back of the ship, the primer is not reacting well with the plastic, so I gotta work it out for the next week. Shout out to all my Patreon and Coffee supporters. I couldn't make it without you guys, so thank you so much for your huge support. You're really making a difference in my life right now. And if you want to support me as well, I have 2 links on the description box where you can do that. So please check them out if you can. And yeah, this is it for this week's video, and hopefully next week I'll come back with another update of the sniper spaceship build. Stick with me, this 6-month journey is coming to an end. Yeah, I'm super excited, and as always, thanks for watching.